Family interruptions. On today's episode of the Jordan Middlebrook Show, we're going to be talking about, well, not what my hair's doing. That's kind of weird. We're going to be talking about board games. Stick around. Just leave me alone. Hey, I'm Jordan Middlebrook, and if there's one thing that I absolutely love, it's not a challenge. I don't want to be challenged in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be challenged to a fight. Oh no, I moved the camera. I just don't want to be challenged to anything. Pokemon. Keys to the Castle. This is a really fun family game. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about why you specifically, don't need to be scared of modern board games. The pandemic. Ultimately, just leave me alone. When you're walking the aisles of a store, whether it's a big box store or your favorite local game store, when you think about board games, I have to assume that you think about Monopoly or Trouble, maybe even Sorry. I remember a game when I was younger, so like in the 80s. It would not be appropriate now. It was called Pass Out. And it was like a drinking board game. This is a long time ago. I remember it in the closet of my grandparents' house. Now, when I talk about board games, it could be tabletop games, it could be board games themselves, it could be, in fact, card games. So one card game that is really massively popular, I got it back here. Pokemon. Because I like playing Pokemon with my kid. When you are thinking about board games, I don't want you to be scared or terrified about what they look like these days. Sometimes the setup can be intimidating. Sometimes board games and tabletop gaming has a lot of pieces that you need to place on the table bit by bit in order to start the game. I'll throw up a couple examples for you to see. This one, this one, this one. Sure, this one's good. And what I've heard over the time is the gateway game is Pandemic. And this is the game that I started playing and I really enjoyed. And then I went on and started playing so much more. Anything can be made a board game these days. Anything. A really fun game by Big G Creative, Monster Crunch. Super fun. I love this game. And what an interesting intellectual property. Jumanji? Is Jumanji a classic game? Of course, board games aren't just interesting intellectual properties, they're also classic intellectual properties like Marvel characters. Now I don't even know. Get onto your browser, go to kickstarter.com or whatever that URL is, and type in board games in the search bar, because you will find an amazing plethora of games that are produced independently by people who have such amazing ideas. Monster Highway, I found on Kickstarter. Lots, I found on Kickstarter. Fire in the Library, I found on Kickstarter. What a cool idea for a game. If there is one thing to take away from this entire episode of the Jordan Middlebrook Show, hosted by me, Jordan Middlebrook, is that you do not need to be intimidated by today's board games. When you open them up and you see that you need to place a few more than just a board and some meeples on the table, remember that that little bit goes a long way. Modern board games are fun. That's it. Do you like board games? Do you want to play a game? Yeah? Okay, cool. It's cool. No, that was terrible. That was a terrible explanation of what modern board games is.